generally, it's by blood testing. Blood testing isn't actually the best way to detect AHK because it's mostly found in the brain and the heart and the muscle. GHK is very easy to detect in the blood. AHK, not so much. In fact, AHK is very difficult versus AHKCU. So once AHKCU binds with copper, it's more easily detectable. And that's because AHK has a shorter life in the blood. Anyway, probably didn't need to know that. But in any case, what we'll do is we'll take a baseline blood draw. We'll take a blood draw at 24 hours and then at 7 days. And in a new study, what we're looking at is blood testing over a period of 2 months. And we're also looking at
Elizabeth, you might have to
diet has
unmute to record. I didn't
on
think
muscle
about
growth
that. Go ahead if you
relative
need
to X49. So you'll hear more about that later. But this was one of the studies that we did where we had 10 subjects. And this was our first test. And one of the interesting things that came out of this is that we found that X49 was elevating AHK, but when you took people that were vegans or vegetarians, they were not hitting statistical significance. So we went back and we collected, and we did a second study where we looked at food diaries, and we found out, sure enough, it's that when people have diets which are low in alanine, which is common in a vegan diet, that X49 is not as effective. So you can add soy. You could, if you want to stay on a vegan diet, you could add soy. You could add any number of types of beans. These are rich in alanine, or you can take an alanine supplement that's very, very inexpensive. For those of you that consume red meat, eggs, fish, poultry, you're good. Okay. So we had a separate study, and I think I actually already covered this. So, oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. Now, this is something we are not going to make a claim about, but we do have evidence that it's occurring. And we've done one clinical study and we're going to be doing another. But the biochemistry showed up in the early days of us looking at this, that X49 AHK would induce osteogenesis, so formation of new bone cells. So X49 may increase bone density. There's a number of factors, of course, that are involved with this. Does a person have enough dietary calcium? Do they have adequate vitamin D to facilitate absorption of the calcium into the bone? You know, these are all kinds of questions that we have, but the chemistry is there. So we may find that as a benefit. So that said, what benefits have we demonstrated in our clinical studies with X49? Well, there's some pretty significant ones. First of all, we've shown that X49 is an excellent way to build lean muscle, regardless of age. So you'll see some examples of this in our studies. We had people that were in their 70s that were using X49, and the people in their 70s were doubling their strength in 60 days. So this is a really awesome alternative to anabolic steroids or testosterone for building lean muscle. Obviously, if we're building muscle, we're also going to be increasing strength. I'm going to show you some of the results from these studies. But as it turns out, you know, surprise, surprise, when you build muscle, you also gain strength and stamina. And again, regardless of age. We also saw phenomenal improvements in stamina. So we put people on an exercise bike. We wanted to measure how fast they could pedal, how far they could go, and I'll show you those results. But we found even within the first week of using X49, people were starting to see improvements in their strength and stamina. And so from the perspective of marketing this product, you can give people samples and expect that most people will see results their very first week. We, of course, would like people to use it for the full month before they come to any conclusion. So like carnosine, which is an antioxidant that contains alanine, AHK is also found in the heart, and there's probably going to be some cardiovascular benefits to this that are rather significant. They're things that we can't make claims about, but as you saw just a moment ago, that AHK induces repair of the endothelial lining, so this would indicate that it might reduce our risks in certain areas of life, if you know what I mean. Okay, so staying on the health and wellness claims, let's take a look at some of the things that happen now in this first study, and we followed this up with a second study, but this is representative. So over a period of 60 days, in this test group, which were people over the age of 40, and a number of people in the group were in their 60s and 70s, the number of sit-ups they could do increased by over 70% in 2 months using X49 only. This is X49 only. Number of push-ups, over 80% improvement in 2 months in an older population. Number of squats, over 47% improvement. Bicep curl strength increased over 100% in just 2 months of using X49 only. And grip strength increased by about 75% in only 2 months of using just X49. So this really begs the question, what happens if we combine it with X39, right? So what happens when we combine these two? X49 only versus the combination of the two. We saw on the number of calories burned, over a 90% improvement. Now, we have a piece of technology that we purchased just for these studies that does a full body scan. And I'm going to show you an image from the study so you can see how that translates into change in body shape in 2 months. Bike top speed increased by 27% versus 22% with the combination. The distance that was traveled was also increased by the combination of the two, or X49 only. Now, we were speaking about health of the heart. There's a relaxation response that occurs with using both X39 and X49. There's an improvement in endothelial function, and this translates into not only a decrease in the pulse rate, but a change and improvement in blood pressure. So here we see just using X49 only versus the combination of two, the pulse rate comes down. So what our data is showing is that both X39 and X49 have an effect on our overall body, but what they do is they work in different ways at improving. X49, mostly in this example, is focusing on our muscle mass. And as a result of getting an increase in lean muscle, we also see corresponding decrease in body fat. And this is not a fat burning mechanism per se that we would usually think of. So after 2 months of using X49, people find out not only have they gained more strength, stamina, and lean muscle, but the
just so you guys know that are joining in, we normally, if it's your first time to our Zoom meeting, we always start off while we're bringing people in till about 5 minutes after the hour. We'll play something that's going on, and this video here is just remarkable. I'm going to back it up. It's 2 years old, so when David talks about doing more research on X49, they've definitely done a lot more research. And so we're going to get into a lot of things like this today. Also, we're hoping that our friends from Europe, maybe even Australia, are able to join, because that's why we're doing our Sunday meeting at 3 p.m. Eastern, and also trying to make sure that people have time that are in church, that can get out of church and be able to be home as well for this. So we did it at 3 p.m., trying to kind of accommodate for both sides there. And then two, one other thing I'll share with you quickly. My wife's been after me for a while to do a Zoom meeting for prayer, to do a prayer Zoom meeting. So we are going to do our first prayer Zoom meeting, and we'll do this like once a month. That's going to be coming up this Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't decided which day yet, Wednesday or Thursday coming up. So I'll continue to play. We'll continue to play, David, as people are coming into the Zoom. We'll have Todd and Shannon on with us as well today. So we're really excited about some information we're going to share with you, and we're learning so much more as we go along. So we have a lot of great information to share with you as well. I'm going to back it up again though, because David goes in, and like I said, this was early on with the studies, but they didn't want to say it in the beginning, but it actually helps rebuild bone mass besides muscle mass as well. Thank you. Here we go.
With X39, because we need to understand how the two of these are going to work together, and do they complement one another? And I'm happy to say the answer is yes. So generally, the way that we'll structure these studies, we're doing now the one now that's a little bit different, but generally we will do this by blood testing. Blood testing isn't actually the best way to detect AHK because it's mostly found in the brain and the heart and the muscle. GHK is very easy to detect in the blood. AHK, not so much. In fact, AHK is very difficult versus AHKCU. So once AHKCU binds with copper, it's more easily detectable. And that's because AHK has a shorter life in the blood. Anyway, probably didn't need to know that. But in any case, what we'll do is we'll take a baseline blood draw. We'll take a blood draw at 24 hours and then at 7 days. And in a new study, what we're looking at is blood testing over a period of 2 months. And we're also looking at the effect that diet has on muscle growth relative to X49. So you'll hear more about that later. But this was one of the studies that we did where we had 10 subjects. And this was our first test. And one of the interesting things that came out of this is that we found that X49 was elevating AHK, but when you took people that were vegans or vegetarians, they were not hitting statistical significance. So we went back and we collected, and we did a second study where we looked at food diaries, and we found out, sure enough, it's that when people have diets which are low in alanine, which is common in a vegan diet, that X49 is not as effective. So you can add soy. You could, if you want to stay on a vegan diet, you could add soy. You could add any number of types of beans. These are rich in alanine, or you can take an alanine supplement that's very, very inexpensive. For those of you that consume red meat, eggs, fish, poultry, you're good. Okay. So we had a separate study, and I think I actually already covered this. So, oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. Now, this is something we are not going to make a claim about, but we do have evidence that it's occurring. And we've done one clinical study, and we're going to be doing another. But the biochemistry showed up in the early days of us looking at this, that X49 AHK would induce osteogenesis, so formation of new bone cells. So X49 may increase bone density. There's a number of factors, of course, that are involved with this. Does a person have enough dietary calcium? Do they have adequate vitamin D to facilitate absorption of the calcium into the bone? These are all kinds of questions that we have, but the chemistry is there. So we may find that as a benefit. So that said, what benefits have we demonstrated in our clinical studies with X49? Well, there's some pretty significant ones. First of all, we've shown that X49 is an excellent way to build lean muscle, regardless of age. So So you'll see some examples of this in our studies. We had people that were in their 70s that were using X49, and the people in their 70s were doubling their strength in 60 days. So this is a really awesome alternative to anabolic steroids or testosterone for building lean muscle.
Here, here.
Obviously, if we're building muscle, we're also going to be increasing strength. I'm going to show you some of the results from these studies. But as it turns out, you know, surprise, surprise, when you build muscle, you also gain strength and stamina. And again, regardless of age. We also saw phenomenal improvements in stamina. So we put people on an exercise bike. We wanted to measure how fast they could pedal, how far they could go, and I'll show you those results. But we found even within the first week of using X49, people were starting to see improvements in their strength and stamina. And so from the perspective of marketing this product, you can give people samples and expect that most people will see results their very first week. We, of course, would like people to use it for the full month before they come to any conclusion. So like carnosine, which is an antioxidant that contains alanine, AHK is also found in the heart, and there's probably going to be some cardiovascular benefits to this that are rather significant. They're things that we can't make claims about, but as you saw just a moment ago, that AHK induces repair of the endothelial lining, so this would indicate that it might reduce our risks in certain areas of life, if you know what I mean. Okay, so staying on the health and wellness claims, let's take a look at some of the things that happened now in this first study, and we followed this up with a second study, but this is representative. So over a period of 60 days, in this test group, which were people over the age of 40, and a number of people in the group were in their 60s and 70s, the number of sit-ups they could do increased by over 70% in 2 months using X49 only. This is X49 only at the moment. Number of push-ups, over 80% improvement in 2 months in an older population. Number of squats, over 47% improvement. Bicep curl strength increased over 100% in just 2 months of using X49 only. And grip strength increased by about 75% in only 2 months of using just X49. So this really begs the question, what happens if we combine it with X39, right? So what happens when we combine these two? X49 only versus the combination of the two. We saw on the number of calories burned, over a 90% improvement. Now, we have a piece of technology that we purchased just for these studies that does a full body scan. And I'm going to show you an image from the study so you can see how that translates into change in body shape in 2 months. Bike top speed increased by 27% versus 22% with the combination. The distance that was traveled was also increased by the combination of the two, or X49 only. Now, we were speaking about health of the heart. There's a relaxation response that occurs with using both X39 and X49. There's an improvement in endothelial function, and this translates into not only a decrease in the pulse rate, but a change and improvement in blood pressure. So here we see just using X49 only versus the combination of two, the pulse rate comes down. So what our data is showing is that both X39 and X49 have an effect on our overall body, but what they do is they work in different ways at improving health. X49 mostly in this example is focusing on our muscle mass. And as a result of getting an increase in lean muscle, we also see corresponding decrease in body fat. And this is
All right. We're gonna stop that, stop doing it like that right there. And we still got, there are gonna be a lot more people joining in. It just happens. So I'll just manage that as we go. We're also joined tonight by, or this afternoon, not tonight, by Todd and Shannon. So happy they're here. And you know, Shannon, you should be the poster child for Lifewave, because you always have that exuberating smile on your face when you come on.
Yes. I also want to welcome Elizabeth, our friend, and as you know, our ministry, she is our #1 helper. Like without
She
her,
is our right hand.
I don't think we could make this without Elizabeth at all. So thank you, Elizabeth, for being here today.
Yes.
And thank you, Todd, Shannon. We had convention yesterday. It's 10 hours of new information. And I was only able to watch part of it, but I'm going to continue watching it. Todd and Shannon, they watched it yesterday, right? You were there. Yes, it was amazing. Things are coming up, and just overall, just the entire business side of this one, you know, these wonderful products that we have. But today we want to kind of focus a little bit on X49 as a complement to X39, but then we want to talk about business side because we have a lot of brand partners and they're almost at the manager level. Like we have a lot of them that sign up 3 people and 1 more will make them managers that they can qualify for up to $1,500 a week. And so this is exciting too, and we want to help them to get there as well. But let's talk about product X49 today.
All right, let's have Shannon Todd come in on this. And do you want, before we get into the X49, do you want have Todd and Shannon kind of highlight some of the things from the,
right?
Because we know they did not, listen, these guys, they were the long win guys in that conference. They didn't give up.
No.
My phone was just, I was watching a text and Yana was sitting there, you know, beating me driving down the road. Why did we leave so soon? We could have waited. Look at what Shannon and Todd are telling us is going on. We shouldn't have stopped.
Yes, because we had things to do, but I was like, well, I wish we never, you know, we prioritized this over what we had to do because it was so good. But anyway, go ahead, Shannon.
Well, yeah, and the funny thing is we were communicating with you know, probably 8 or 10 other groups as well yesterday. So during the conference. So yeah, that was fun. I mean, what a just whirlwind. I mean, just the entire day just kept getting loaded, and you know, we're writing notes because we like to put pen to paper and take notes, and so we can go back and review it. As a matter of fact, we're going to put together a Zoom for Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, and just to kind of recap, you know, and along with Rich and Mia Finnegan as well, and some of the other leaders, Jason Miller and Ty. So yeah, it was just a phenomenal day, full of knowledge, full of things to come, and you know, it just really solidifies your belief in what we're doing, you know, and helping the masses, because you know, it's such a phenomenal product. Obviously, you hear about the X39 quite a bit, you know, because that's definitely the hero product. So that's what you hear about the most. But man, there's, you know, the other patches are just amazing as well. And you know, and I know going down to convention, the one that we had just a few months ago in Orlando, where they had a panel up on stage of different doctors and athletes, where they were highlighting, you know, individual patches, and they talked about the energy enhancer, and they talked about the X49, they talked about the Eon patch, and the various different patches that obviously the the Ice Wave, which is phenomenal. So, and just the different things that they help with and help people with. So it's pretty exciting. And yeah, yesterday was phenomenal.
Well, and just for all of your viewers that are dialing in here, you know, we are Todd and Shannon Varvel from the Cincinnati, Ohio area. And, you know, a little background on me, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 28 years ago, and really have done a great job over the years of keeping that at bay with, you know, supplementation, nutrition, exercise. But about a year and a half ago, I really started to struggle. And so a friend of mine introduced me to the X39 patch. I was super skeptical. I had the link for 5 months before I was willing even to take a look at it. And I'm telling you, May the 6th, I got started on that patch, the X39, and it's absolutely changed everything for me. So at 54 years old, I feel better than I have in years. And, you know, you guys referring to that convention, that virtual convention yesterday, one of the biggest takeaways for me was Dr. Leland Stillman. And for him, he's a medical doctor. He has over 10,000 patients, and he is utilizing these patches with his patients because he is seeing major life change. The fact that they are phototherapy patches, they're not putting a supplement into the body, but they're actually activating the healing of our body, you know, the way our bodies were designed to heal. So hearing from him, you know, seeing his credentials in the medical world and knowing that, you know, he has a huge reputation. And, you know, the fact that he is utilizing these patches, and he came on to really talk about the X39, the way that patch works, you know, how it's activating that GHKCU copper peptide in our body to really stimulate the activity of our stem cells. And, you know, explain that as we get older, those stem cells start to, you know, not be as productive. So when we're 4 years old, we have that quick healing in our body, right? And that stem cell is that universal cell that goes to our body. It can convert really to any type of organ cell or anything that our body needs to help our body heal. But as we age, you know, really, as by the time we're 60 years old, those really, you know, we really don't have a lot of active stem cells. So that's why as we age, we're all seeing those signs of aging. And truly what this X39 is, it is that reverse aging. And that is what I have seen in the last 8 months. You know, at 54 years old, I feel younger than I have in years. My hair, my skin, my sleep. Oh my gosh, I was up and down 17 times during the night before the patch. Now I sleep through the night. I wake up. A lot of times I don't even wake up at all to go to the bathroom, which is a miracle. And I just can't believe the way I feel. So, you know, I think what we really learned yesterday at that convention is there is a phenomenal, the patches are doing phenomenal things for people today. You know, I've got a glutathione patch on right here, and, you know, 99 up, and I see, okay. So, you know, I thought, gosh, I feel a little, we had traveled, we had flown back from Florida. Anytime I'm on a flight, I want to get as much immune boost as I can when I get off that flight. And these glutathione patches are absolutely amazing. They're master antioxidant, boosting your immune system. I don't wear them every day, but I have a sleeve of them. And either when I start to feel a little off, or I've flown, or anytime I need an immune boost, I'm putting this on in addition to my X39 that I'm wearing every day. And I know you all, Steve and Yana, you want to share about the X49. That patch synergistically, you know, it's that sister peptide with the X39. So that AHKCU copper peptide combines with the GHKCU copper peptide and does amazing things for strength, recovery, and fat loss. And so Todd and I have seen huge benefits with that patch. Our number one go-to is that X39. But then, you know, being able to add some of these other patches in has been incredible. And, you know, what that's lent itself to is a phenomenal income opportunity as well, to be able to share these patches to change people's lives through phototherapy. You know, a lot of people have had such a rough couple of years, and to be able to offer this to people now worldwide, it's changed our lives financially just in the last 8 months. And we're just excited to be on here today with you all.
Well, thank you so much. You know, everybody, Shannon is ex-teacher, and I think when she speaks, you all can say that she's a teacher because she, just the way she speaks and explains everything in a plain, simple way, she's amazing. I bet that your students loved you, Shannon.
Aw.
They did.
They
Thank you
did?
so much.
Okay, great. Okay, well, yes, about X49, what I want to say, lots of people will have to read between the lines when we speak about X49. The reason I say that is because we are not legally able to make claims, certain claims, okay? And we are not going to jeopardize David Schmidt and his business. So you have to read between the lines now, okay? I will try to explain it the best I can. Now, because I'm studying functional nutrition, diagnostic nutritionist, functional diagnostic nutrition, FDN- practitioner, I really go to the things really deeply, and I pulled out clinical studies, and I am studying those clinical studies. Now, I'm not saying you have to do the same. This is for me, for my own practice, for my own interest, because I want to make sure that everything I do is for the benefit of the people. So I pulled out the study on X49, and then I listened to everything I can that David has to say about X49. Now, I happened to order X49 because with Steve, we became diamonds. We went into it as diamonds. So I was able to order a lot of samples and a lot of different patches. You get 19 sleeves when you become a diamond, okay? So
before you go much further, one thing let me just quickly mention, I discovered this last night. When you guys, even if you sign up as a silver, as a distributor, I used to think that you have whatever is on there, 3X39 package sleeves there is what you have to do. But I was watching the video of David Schmidt explaining this, and no, if you want to even customize it as you're signing up, you can actually customize your order.
I didn't know that.
Even as a silver. So if you want to just do 2 X39s and make that third one an X49 or a Ice Wave or anything like that, you can actually do that.
I had
And
no
so it's
idea. I
amazing.
wish we told people, but we didn't know.
Didn't know.
Okay, so but let me continue, pick up my thoughts, Steve. But thank you for interrupting me for that important information. But what I want to say is that I went into these clinical studies, and you know, I'm a woman after 40, and I won't tell you my age. I'm not that type of person that tells my age, but
42.
right, I'm always you know, going younger every year. So and now I can truly say I am going younger now, but I want to tell you that I to depth have studied clinical studies, how they perform them, you know, and what the studies deducted, what was the result of study of X49. So I got up this morning and put it right on my belly button with X39 right here. And why did I do that? Because it is proven that it can help you with building your bones. And women after 40, 45, 50, menopause and all of that, well, osteoporosis is a great risk for all of us women. And what the doctors have, the medical doctors here have in their toolbox for that particular problem is not very exciting when you read the side effects. So if I can have something natural, phototherapy, making sure my bones are staying strong, I'm going to do that. So I got very excited about this one. Now, of course, it doesn't replace your good diet. You need calcium, and dietary calcium is the best from your plant sources, but that will be on another time. But what I want to say is that it also helps with your muscles, building muscles, and doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 70, 80. And that's exciting. And what that proves that we have in our bodies innate ability to heal. So our God-given ability to heal, and patch is the tool to wake up that ability, that innate ability to heal. And that is majorly exciting. And another thing within this study was a cardiovascular system to prevent certain things that can happen to you. Men, right? Men after 50, especially the ones who have big bellies. Well, I really recommend that you start renewing your cardiovascular system. So X49 is it. That's it. That's the perfect complement to your X39. And I love carnosine. So I have 4 patches on me right now. I have SP6, carnosine, X49, and X39. And, as we said, when you become a diamond, you can get 19 patches. You can start off your business as a distributor. If you don't want to be a distributor, that's fine too. You can just use the patches. You can be preferred customer, and that's perfectly okay. So from here, we go into second subject. Steve, go ahead.
All right, I want to jump back to Todd and Shannon, if they can share some highlights of the event from yesterday. And then I'll start preparing a little bit, getting ready to share with people some of the things from the back office that you have in there that talk about this as a business as well. Go ahead, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, the one thing I'll jump in here, we were trained by the top leaders of the company. So, and the amazing thing is these people that were training us, all of them have been in for just a little over a year. And they now have reached the top level of the company. As a matter of fact, Steve and Gina Merritt were in Lifewave for 23 days and reached the top level of the company. It's absolutely incredible. And you might be asking yourself, like, how is that even possible? And even for Todd and I, to be where we are, because we're now presidential directors with Lifewave. And, it's just absolutely incredible. Why? Because this patch is incredible. It's phototherapy. It's not putting anything into the body. And there's nothing else like it on the market. So we have that patent for the next 17 years. And you can't go to Amazon or Costco or, your local health food store to get it. You have to go through a distributor. So I think the one thing that I loved that was shared, one of the leaders shared, the bigger your vision, the bigger your team. And when we talk about team building, so Todd and I were teachers, that's where we come from. We had never done anything like this, but, my passion for health and wellness really brought us into this health and wellness space about 14 years ago. And, what we learned was really when you talk about growing and building a team, if you're interested in that side, it's really just sharing a lot of product, a little bit of product with a lot of people. And, learning yesterday from David Schmidt, he was on and interviewed. And I think one of the things that was incredible that, we were hearing from him is just the future of this company. He's got this X39, he has the X49 developed, but he's not stopping there. He spoke on getting involved in other industries, in other businesses, the communication business. I'm not sure if you all heard that, Yana and Steve.
We didn't hear about that.
Well, I was listening to some of his other videos that somebody was promoting, and
yes.
He's mainly dedicated to benefits of humanity, while the other evil side is planning against us. He's planning for us.
You're right. Yeah. And the ability for us to have power over our communication systems, to have power over our internet systems, developing those types of things like phones and internet. And then also spoke on things like generators and things like that. So really independence, but having a vision and doing things that no one else is doing in this space. And then also he shared, because when we were at the conference in Orlando, he had a light infused brandy there. And really what he was showing was that he could take a substance and they could do some of the similar things that they do with these patches, and put them in something that we consume. So speculation is water. Okay, so the ability for us to take our water and infuse some of these same light, body boosting, innate healing properties into something like water. So that's the speculation that's coming out. Obviously, it's just pure speculation, but to know what we have on our hands with these phototherapy patches, to know the lives that have been changed with these, but also to see the vision of David Schmidt. He has over 180 patents, and he's continuing to work on, that side of it and the humanitarian side of it. We're so proud to be a part of this company, and we can't wait to see what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like she was sharing about, and you say he didn't come out and say it, but he really did. I mean, you know that something's coming out this year. We don't know how soon. I know next weekend they're doing a specific training. It's like a $29 training you sign up for. And it sounds like he's going to release at least a time frame of when some of these things are coming out. We know it's going to be this year, but like she was saying, something to do with water that actually adds to and complements the patch effectiveness. And so that was pretty amazing. We saw Andy and Mandy Hosier, who are our upline leaders, who we've known for 13 years. They spoke yesterday and trained Danny and Diane McDaniels, so just like Shan said, I mean, high level leaders. So it's just a full day of leadership. But I know for me, it really came down to just belief, and just, taking the average person. And here's the thing, if you watched that yesterday, you saw anyone can do this, because those are people at the top of the company. And they weren't these, masterful speakers. Not all of them weren't. And that's what was so amazing. You just saw the average person that was up there, and they achieved the highest level of the company. And as Shannon said, everyone, I mean, Steve and Gina have been in for about a year and a half. So everyone at that training is actually in that organization of Steve and Gina. So everyone up there had been in for less time than Steve and Gina. So less than a year and a half. That's just remarkable. You just, and they didn't really go over incomes, but we, being friends with some of the leaders, we know the type of income that people are making in this business. And it's not about, being rich or whatever, but how many people can you help? If you're being blessed with a business that's going to pay you residual income and high level incomes, then, how many people can you bless from that? So, but we just, at the end of the day, we just, in our heart of hearts, we know where this is going. We believe that we can help the masses. And we're talking not just hundreds of people, not just thousands, but literally millions of people.
Yes.
The one thing that I will jump in here too, just real quick, another thing that David Schmidt mentioned was that they are releasing an amino acid powder that you can mix in with your water, with your things, that has every ingredient that your body needs to supplement the patches. And he talks about glycine and NAC and these types of things. So that's really exciting too, because we know when we're using these patches, it's so important. Body weight divided by 2 in ounces of water, and then adding in those electrolytes. And he spoke on that too. Like, why is that important? It's really important that our cells are hydrated, because in order for these patches to work, we want our cells to be hydrated. So the development of this supplement that we're optionally able to order through the company, and also just be able to add that into our water to be able to increase the effectiveness of the patches as well.
Yes,
Let
and
me-
I would like to just quickly say
Okay.
something, Stu. Yes, you're right, and to complement whatever you said, Shannon, is that when David gives out information on each product, he's mentioning diet, and we know that people I mean, I can almost guarantee you 90% of people just don't have a good diet. Or when they are trying to, they can't do it because they're so busy, or they always make mistakes and feel bad about what they just ate or whatever they ate yesterday. So, and he's mentioning how important it is to have those amino acids in order so patch can work, in harmony with the amino acids within your cells, and water is extremely important. And I have reminded our people and our distributors that you have to be hydrated in order for patch to work. You have to keep drinking water.
Let's
ahead.
go back though to the product, what you guys are talking about, Shannon. It's really extremely important that he's actually introducing this product. The video I was playing before you guys are doing it as an introductory where David's talking about the X49 patch and how it works. This is a 3-year-old video, keep in mind, and it'll be on our Facebook page as well. But he goes into the X39 as well, but he also talks about different things as what Jana's talking about, that the body tends to be missing, that the patches need. In one particular study that I was looking at, when he's talking about X39, he said it wouldn't hurt to be eating foods that are more rich in copper, because why? The X39 is stimulating the copper peptides in your body. You can also
It takes free copper from your
Right.
body and uses that free floating copper to increase copper peptides.
Right. And so
Mhm.
therefore, to know that the company is now making a product that where we don't have to wonder about where we're going to run to get this or get that to add to it, they're going to make us one product that we could actually also incorporate as part of our cells that will enhance. Therefore, he's going to make sure that every patch that we're using has the right enhancement. So that's absolutely incredible. And I like what you guys said too about helping people, because let me approach it this way here. If you're doing this as a distributor, every time you share this product with someone, you are helping that person. You're not only helping them, but you may affect, because that one person may affect another 100 lives that are in just horrible condition, that have been suffering, have not been able to find a way to get around the problems they're going through. And now suddenly there's a product that will help their body do what it was meant to do, and that was to heal itself, just giving you the tools to put you back on the right track. So this is not just a matter of, doing this as a distributor to make money, which that's wonderful. The company will reward you for that purpose, but you literally are changing lives. And I've heard that so much from Todd and Shannon, from Jason as well, Ashley, others that we've had the privilege of being able to listen to.
From our own sponsor, he
Right.
does not want to
Manuel,
he
yes.
does not want to speak about his problem because it's so private, and he's such a private person, but it's totally changed his life.
Yes.
And he asked me not to share what was wrong, so I won't. But anyway, what I want to say just a little bit before we go into business aspect of this, if you want to increase copper in your diet, eat pears. Raw pear. You know how you have apples and pears? Just eat pears and eat blackberries. And when the apricots come into season, eat a lot of apricots. Okay, so they are very high in copper.
Blackberries.
So blackberries, yes. So make
Yes.
a blackberry cobbler.
Colloidal copper.
Yes.
Hey, I like what you guys said too about helping people, and just to add on to that, we formerly in business, over the last 14 years, there's something that we used to say, it's how far will your yes travel? And so, because we hear that a lot, thank you for your yes, and just like you were saying, Steve, I mean, sometimes people have a fear of, oh, I don't want to sell anyone anything. And
Which was me.
Shan used to be
I'm gonna
like
tell you
when
that.
our kids had to sell, candy bars or whatever at school to try to raise money, or those cheese pots and all those things. I mean, she would just go ahead and buy it. She would just buy it all. Here, we'll just do that so we don't have to, try to sell for our kids and all that. So, but when you know that you're actually helping someone, it changes your whole mindset about, It's not like, well, I don't, I'm kind of scared to reach out to someone, or I'm scared to tell them what I'm doing or whatever. But when you flip the switch and you say, no, I'm going to reach out to them to help them. This is a way of helping someone, obviously in a physical way, but you never know what they're dealing with financially either. And when, a college basketball friend of mine reached out to me 14 years ago about an opportunity, he didn't know what was going on behind our four walls. He didn't know, we had $70 in the bank and I couldn't afford my oldest son's basketball shoes. So had he only come to us with the products and say, hey, right, I have these great products. My thinking was, I don't have the money to buy products.
Right.
But the fact that he spoke about opportunity changed everything. So just want to point that out.
That's a very important aspect. And like we say, you're getting a business that you can run from home, but you are transforming lives. And when you find out, and the fastest ones I've ever seen that work are people that have some of the most serious issues from the brain, whether it be stroke, dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Some of the people that are suffering these things here, once those stem cells get activated, we're finding their bodies are doing amazing things for them. And that's the greatest reward of all for us. We are seeing one testimony after another. Yeah, there are many of us out there that are more long-term. It takes a lot longer to get something to change because we have a different issue. It takes more stem cells, more time to build that part of the body. I mean, I was sitting here while we started this video here, and one thing I learned about stem cells when they're rebuilding, especially like in the case of the spinal injuries and stuff, and you don't have feeling in one extremity, as those nerves begin to repair, you get electrical shocks. And I get major electrical shocks now going through my left leg constantly. They just suddenly, and I know it's another stem cell, it's connected another nerve ending, and it'll go wherever that point is in the leg, all the way to some part of the foot down below. So
Yes.
it's I know it's working. Besides the other things it's already helped me with, I'm feeling it daily.
And the company says that give it a month for every decade of your life. We started last week of November, and our users, the people that bought patches, they cannot be on it only 1 month. So give it 1 month for every decade of your life, and then see and watch your body. Have a diary, have a little notebook. Okay, and remember well how you felt before patches, because we have a tendency to take for granted when we start feeling better. We think that came naturally. That happened to me. I started to feel better when Steve was patching me. And, before with the horrific PTSD and with pain in my bones and muscles from it, I truly, if I loaded a dishwasher that day, I was congratulating myself. Wow, I loaded a dishwasher today, because my days were so miserable.
Yeah.
Well, then I suddenly, after he started putting patch on me, I did homework with my daughter. We were doing math in homeschooling. Then I was cleaning. My house needed 2 years, but 2 years I was pretty much out. So I needed to organize. I went to store. I was doing dinner, and I didn't know what was happening. And I started taking it for granted until I forgot my patch. When I went to Tennessee, I forgot the patches, and Steve wasn't there with me to patch me. And 3 days later, I started going backwards again because simply it just wasn't enough time for recuperation. So, and then I connected the patch and me feeling better, because that was the only different thing I have done was put a patch on. So that's just what I want to tell you from my own experience. Watch yourself closely. And people who have number 9 and 10 pain are reporting their pains are down to number 4. Now, when you are...
Some of them 0.
Yeah, some of them. I just got a yesterday text from 80-year-old couple. Their husband is on 10 milligrams of hydrocodones 3 or 4 times a day. And he put a patch on. I sent them a lot of samples, and he put a patch on. And she just wrote me yesterday. She says it was unbelievable because he felt immediate relief. And guess what? 0 pain. Now with Iceway, you have to really play around with it and find what location works. But anyway, let's go into a business side right now.
Okay. I want to share this with you real quick because sometimes we get asked this, and you're going to be asked this if you're already a distributor, does the company offer a money back guarantee? Yes, they do. If you're a customer, 90-day hassle-free trial. If you're a distributor, you've got a 30-day trial. And then of course you can read about the return policy. A lot of these things that we're looking at, these things are already in your back office, and that's something I want you to be able to be aware of. Even like if you need tutorials, things like that. And I'm going to jump in the back office in just a moment so you can see some of this for yourself. But if you're wanting to talk to people about specific different products besides X39 or even X39, the company has all the tools right there in your website to be able to do that. And then another one that I think is fascinating, this one it's a little small PowerPoint, only 6 pages. This is about retail profits. And that's when you got, let's say, for example, because in fact, Yana, we're going to go out with one of our distributors that lives not too far from us in Tennessee. We're going to go with them. And of course, we'd do it with you as well if we're not too far from you. And we're going to go to chiropractor offices in his area there. And we're going to talk to them with him about the products. And of course, for people like doctor's office, they can participate in this as under retail profits, because what do they normally do? They tend to end up ordering the products in bulk. And of course, just to kind of give you a little idea here, right here on the screen here, and of course, you as a distributor could do this as well if you wanted to do that. It's up to you. But in this case here, if you're looking at, say, the X30, or let's see, let me find one easy for me to see. Okay, Iceway, for example. It retails for $79.95, but they can get 3 packs at $69.95 and make a $10 markup on that. That's as a retail customer pricing. And of course, I don't really understand all of these in here, but the point is, they're like doctors' offices, things like that, they can participate on doing this from a retail aspect. But ultimately, I can tell you, they're going to end up being part of, they're going to end up finding that they're going to, by default, they will end up being involved in multi-level, for the simple reason is those customers, unless they're just buying it from them directly at their office, but if they order from their website, it's not going to take people long to figure out, hey, I could make some extra money doing this and sharing it with my family as well. So there is, as Todd and Shannon's always taught us, there's 4 ways to make money in this business. So that is one. And I like to share that mainly because some people get a little nervous when they hear, oh, network marketing. Look, it's not just network marketing, but believe me, network marketing is a major benefit regardless. Todd, Shannon, you guys want to speak on that issue?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, we like to call it relationship marketing,
Yes, and I want to say, I'm sorry, Todd, I will just say this. I always, well, I can't say hated, but disliked network or multi-level marketing. And if this was some type of a shake that I have to drink every morning, believe me, I wouldn't be here right now at all, but this is an extraordinary product, the new technology that changed my life completely, and I want to help people. So the product makes this completely different issue now.
Yeah.
And the network marketing in this is such a beautiful thing to help you financially, that it's a legal way of making money, and it's very, very rewarding. So go ahead, Ted.
Sure. Yeah. You do hear that, you hear, the different things that connotations that come with direct sales, network marketing. But yeah, when you consider it's relationship marketing, it truly is. And when you have a product, and when you really consider David Schmidt, and he had the option, obviously he had the option, he looked at other avenues to distribute this product, years ago, almost 20 years ago, and decided, he settled on direct sales because he said, I couldn't see products that I have a patent on that are so powerful just sitting in a drugstore somewhere where someone's going past it and they look at it, they have no clue, what it is. It just blends in with everything else. He said, however, when you can have people experience the power of the product and go out and tell the world, what a better way to do that, right? So,
Yes.
for us, it's just, it's always been relationship marketing.
Well, and the beauty of it too, because Todd mentioned, I was a 5th grade teacher. I wanted nothing with selling anything to any of our family and friends. However, when you experience life change on this, and you're sharing something that has the potential to change the course of someone's health, I got very passionate about that. And, the beautiful thing about this business is that a traditional business, a Subway or, something like that, if we were going to buy a franchise, there would be a huge startup cost. There would be a lot of costs monthly for that. And, a lot of people, frankly, would not be able to afford that type of business. And what we love about this is that we have a very low startup cost here, yet we have an opportunity for people to come in here. And, a lot of people will say, well, we will never get above the person make more than the person that's above us. That's completely wrong, because this is really about sharing. And, I'll be honest, Steve and Yana, you earned more in your first week than Todd and I did in our first week, even though we got started several months before you.
Their first week is bigger than our first month, actually.
Yeah. And, I think that's all to say is that it is, it's truly a business where you have that low startup cost, but unlimited potential. And really it's just, who can you share this with? Who can you help? So our list revolves around those people that you can help. And like we mentioned before, this is a pay it forward business where you're helping people with their health, but you're also offering someone the opportunity to make some side income that can very quickly become a plan A income and a work from home business. So there's so many benefits to it. And another beautiful thing about it is, we always say you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. You have a whole team of people that are here and a beautiful system in place that's already here for you to jump on board and get started sharing.
Yes. So when you start, you will have a free website, your own back office, and in the resources, all the training, and you will have your upline to call or text or be in a group text or email or phone call right away. So that's an amazing. Plus, I cannot imagine my life without Todd and Shannon right now. Like, I really can't, because if I don't know something, they're in it for so much longer than me, that they came across that question while I had no opportunity yet, right, to learn about it. So don't be afraid when you are in it first week or second week, because I didn't know anything. When I shared it with you, all I knew is what it did for me. That's all I knew. And I wanted you, and I was giving away all these patches to my elderly friends that I knew they needed it. So I was just excited that I can offer them something to help their life. But I had no idea, nothing about business. I didn't know how it works. I was totally lost.
Yeah.
But for me, priority was to help people. So when you are in that place, you're going to slowly learn things. Like today, I learned that you can customize when you become a silver. I thought you have to get 3 X39s. I didn't know that you can customize it. I learned it today. So just be patient with yourself, because you're going to learn as you go. By the time you are in it 3 months, you will know so much more. And then, of course, what I do, I watch David Schmidt. I go right to the head. Okay. I'm watching a lot of distributors, but I'm actually watching David Schmidt and what he said about every product. And I'm reading those studies. You don't even have to do that, but I am doing it. And I am learning every single day more and more and more. And now as I learn, I believe in it every day more and more and more, and I'm
Yes.
excited every morning to put on patch, and I have my favorite night patches as well, and I am ready to help our brand partners that signed up onto us. I want you to become the managers,
Yes.
okay?
Well,
So
listen, we want you to set your goal, what you intend on, what you want to achieve in the next 3 months, all right? Whatever one, like right now, I have on this screen where you start off, you become a manager, then a director, senior director, etc. And these are potential incomes that the compensation plan shows. When you're in that group, it doesn't necessarily mean you get there exactly, but it's your potential income earning. And that's just from one part of the
that's
payout
only from
plan.
binary plan.
Okay.
There is 3 other ways. There's
So,
bonuses, there's
yeah, because
the
you can top those amounts in there just from sales and commissions and things like that. But what I do want to say though, I want you to picture in your mind where you see yourself in 3 months, and we want to help you go even beyond that. So you pick that, we're going to help you go beyond that. And the way that we can help you, just like Todd and Shannon is here for us, they're always here. We want to be there for you as well. You know, we've been doing, I don't think Dr. Darnell would mind me saying it. We've done Zoom meetings with her. We've done radio broadcasts with John Moore, Zoom meetings with him as well. You know, I don't care if you've got one person you want to do a Zoom meeting with. We're there for you because we know that every time it's not just a matter of success financially, but we realize too that you're about to change someone's life, you know, regardless of whatever they're going through. And believe me, when we were on a Zoom the other day with one of our friends that are doing this as a business right now, you know, to hear what some of the, and I don't want to speak about it, but some of these people, what they're suffering with, you know, they literally are looking at this and they're thinking this may be the one thing that might change their life. And so we're steadily researching too, looking for testimonies. What if other people have dealt with similar to their case, right? So we know that those Zoom meetings are important because it might be the last hope that person has. And so I take it more personally in that respect as well. And at the same time, yes, you will benefit financially, but look at the lives that you're going to change in the process.
So as far as what's your first goal, if you came in as a silver, okay, and I want to talk about this, Todd and Shannon, and if you can, like, I don't know if you have time, but I have a gentleman that is a silver, and he's talking about buying patches for his wife, okay, like carnosine and X49 for her heart and so on. And how about this? When you upgrade to be a gold, you will get 2 patches extra, right? Because you got 3 as a silver. So when you upgrade to a gold, you're gonna get in that price while you are upgrading 2 extras plus 1 free. I think that's right. Am I correct? I just don't want to give wrong information. So
Yeah.
check. Okay.
That's true. And how you do that is you log in with your username and password, and then write this down. So if you are not at the diamond level right now, you have the opportunity to upgrade. And we say get to the diamond level as quickly as you can. And just because at that diamond level, you're paid at a leadership level, you're earning a higher compensation. So we just say as soon as you can, but remember, this is your time frame. So, you know, the way you do that is you log in and you go to store, and then you click upgrade kit. And you're given that opportunity to upgrade. And it's kind of like a payment plan. So you're right, Yana, what you've spent on your silver kit.
What about people with pregnancies?
What you spent on your silver kit, you're going to be able to use that as a payment towards the gold kit. But you're right, you're going to get 2 sleeves at gold. So it's going to cost you the $200, but you're going to get 1 sleeve for free.
Yes.
So what I always tell my brand partners is when you're ready, if you've done silver that very next month, because you want to stay active every month with an order or a customer order coming in, go ahead and upgrade to that next level, because what you're going to get is you're going to get free patches all the way to the diamond level. So it's really a great way to do that.
Right. And then I heard, I think it was David there asked about if somebody's pregnant. That's actually one of the only people that we don't recommend the X39 for, only because they just are not able to do case studies on pregnant women. So quite honestly, it would probably be fine. But I'm not.
Lifewave would never recommend it.
Lifewave wouldn't recommend it, just because they would only recommend for those they've done case studies on. So
Yes, that's a legal
great
issue. That's a legal issue. And there is other issue with organ receivers, like when they had an organ transplant, they'd never done studies on those people. Although we do have in our upline Jason, who received a kidney, and he's using it with success.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind that a lot of things we can't recommend because of the legal aspect of it. The same thing is with children. They have never done any studies on children. Am I correct?
Correct.
Well,
Correct.
yeah, it's safe for seven and up, and they say less than 7 would be a half a patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So
and it would be up to the discretion of the parents at that
Right.
point. Lifewave legally will not recommend this for anyone under 18. But we have many people that they've made the decision that they're going to try this patch. We have a client that has a 13-year-old son who developed all kinds of rheumatoid arthritis symptoms and was tested for that, never tested positive. They just didn't know. Active, healthy 13-year-old boy. And just all of a sudden started with the joint pain, the muscle pain, and he's had phenomenal results on the X39 patch.
yeah, and I just want to touch on Steve, because you and Yana were talking about manager, the first level of leadership. I don't know if you have a slide on that, but just so you know, anyone on here, since that's your first goal, to open up the residual income, right? The binary cycles, and ultimately the matching bonuses. That simply means you sponsor 2 people on your left team, 2 people on your right team. We just had someone do that this week. They did it. They signed up 3 diamonds and 1 silver. And they hit manager in I think it was 5 or 6 days. So
we've actually had people do it in 1 day. I mean,
Yeah.
so, those of you on here tonight, this afternoon, think about who do you know, that could utilize this patch. I know for us, one of the first people we went to were my parents. We are good friends, Todd's brothers,
5 kids.
yeah, our kids.
Yeah.
We shared this with them. And so like Todd said, it's 2 silver and above on your left, 2 silver and above on your right. And then you do need to be a gold leader or above. So you need to be at that gold level or above. So, but what we're seing is just how quickly people can actually get to that first level of leadership.
We've had several hit manager in 1 day.
Yeah.
Because they just had the mindset of okay, this is easy, just 4 people. Everyone knows 4 people. And I wanted to mention too, because you're talking about, just the idea of kind of getting nervous about sales and things like that. But they talked about this on the training yesterday, because there's really something to, I know what it was, Yana, you're talking about not having to know everything, right? Not having to know everything, because that can, if you're thinking, my gosh, I have to know all the science behind these products and all these things, then it can get overwhelming. But and they call it ignorance on fire, because people really buy into your excitement, your enthusiasm for it, and what it's done for you. So we've always said that facts tell, but stories sell, because that's the truth. I mean, we always go back to our story. When we're sharing this with people, it's not, hey, and we go into all the science. Some people don't really care so much about the science. They just want to know, what's it doing for you and what can it do for me?
Well, and we love the website. thisisinfo.com.
Yes.
So when we're sharing either our story, but understand, and I know, Steve, you've shared this, if you would have waited until you had a story to start helping and blessing people, you would have been, waiting for a little bit of time. But, what happened to Yana, you shared her story, And then, you know, the ability for us to be able to say, you know, check this out. I did that with a few people already today, you know, that I had reached out to, and I shared just a little bit of my story and then shared, hey, check this out. This is at info.com. And I'm going to follow back up with you tomorrow. So I'm putting a date on that. I'm going to follow back up with, go ahead and watch these. I'm going to follow back up with you tomorrow. And I'm going to connect you with the person that's helping me so that we can get your questions answered. And we do that over and over and over. And like Todd said, it takes away the pressure of us needing to know things. And we've got a simple system in place.
Okay. And everybody can find their own system. Some people here are very busy. Like we have PhD with us, Dr. Darnell, and she's, you know, busy person. But if you find yourself a certain system, like let's say you will have working hours at home in your office, and you say every day between 6 and 9 or 6 and 8 p.m., I am after dinner, I'm sitting down and I'm going to write the people who I know. I'm going to go on my social media. I'm going to start getting involved. I'm going to start sending out emails. I'm going to answer emails. Just give yourself working hours. And after that, you have to put your brain somewhere else. Fine, go back to your life. But this is how slowly you can start building up your business here and helping people with it. So just find what works for you. With us, we are pretty much just like whatever comes. We are busy in ministry. We are very used to dealing with people as is. So, you know, I just want to have a lot of power and knowledge about the products. I'm very excited about what it done for me. So I will just educate you as much as I can. I'm preparing for my own practice. So I want to know because I'll incorporate that product in my practice 100%. I'm very excited about the fact, again, you're not putting drugs in your body and it has no interference with your existing medications. And that's very important to know. So again,
Let's go.
I just would like to just say real quick, because people are here, we have brand partners here. If you are a silver and you want to start making money, take advantage of binary system, you have to be a gold. So you hear about all these other patches, you want to try them out. Instead of ordering them as a silver, upgrades to gold, and you will get 2 extra because you're doing a difference between silver and gold, right? So you're going to just get 2 extra plus 1 free. 3 products that you can try instead of just, you know.
And even though the system may have it already listed as X39, you can click on it, go minus, and then you can choose what kind of product you want in there.
And I didn't know that. I learned that today after
So-
7 weeks in the business.
Yeah.
So
And kind of the easy way to explain that as far as the silver and gold, at silver, then you can only get paid 2 ways.
yes.
When you upgrade to gold or above or beyond or diamond, then it opens up all 4 ways of earning income. So yeah, so people should know that when they're, you know, when they're joining or obviously upgrading.
Yes. And so what else? So you're silver, you want to be gold minimum. Okay. So you upgrade, you get your patches, you start using them, and then you think of 4 people that you can sign up on your left and right. And
that's important
you
too.
become a manager.
Right. Let me go into that real quick with you guys too on the signing up the left and right. One of the reasons why we encourage you to have people come on to try the product as a silver is because you do have the option of 3 sleeves. And of course you could they could mix and match that. And secondly, they're getting the discount because they're becoming a distributor, and it gives them time to try the product out. And like I said, or mix and match. They might want to try X39 with X49. Maybe they get an X39 for their wife, one for the husband, and then one X49 so they can try that out as well, or carnosine or something like that. That's why we like to teach about the products as well. But in the meantime, until they're ready to move to that next step where they're also wanting to share this with their friends and family, and then they would need to upgrade to the gold. You know, you do need to keep in mind about your right and left leg. I'm probably messing up on how I'm saying that, but I'm going to get this ready for you. I want to show you, so give me 1 second to get to the website here, but I want to be able to share with you what, because this is very important. A lot of people do not think about in the beginning.
This is our son, by the way, Ethan.
Yeah, he's almost a manager
Yeah.
already. Let's see, share the screen. Where is it at? I think it's, wait a minute. Here we go, right there. I just want to make sure that you guys know how to change your binary system so that, like, because by default, if I understand right, by default, when you sign up your first two people, they're going to go down your right side of your organization as it is. All right. So after that's happening, you got a third and a fourth. What you want to be able to do is go and change the side of your binary tree or your organization. So you go right here to your name, and then you're going to click Change Settings. And when you do, you're going to just scroll down the page there. And right there in the middle, right under About Me, he's already changed his to Build Left. If you click the button, watch what happens on the screen. Build Right. See in the right-hand corner goes green success. Your binary preference has been updated. All right, now I'm going to go back to left for him because I think he still needs to stay to the left right now. And so that's what happens. You don't have to click a saved button or nothing. It's already done for you. And then one other thing I'll encourage you on as well. A couple of things. Well, one thing here, just I don't want to go too long with you guys. We're getting close in. Go to your resources. This is where you find all these tutorials and tools in your back office. The studies that the company has done on
I want
products.
to talk about studies. You go to very, very bottom for those who are more scientifically minded and you want to make sure that studies are here. Very last one is studies, okay? And you click on that, and these are study PDFs of studies on X39, X49, glutathione. And by the way, about glutathione that Shannon is wearing here right now, and Steve is. Okay, right here. You are not putting glutathione in your body. It's not a synthetic glutathione. What it does, it actually makes it induces your own body to produce your own glutathione because our body has a capability of doing that. Okay, so you are increasing your own body's glutathione by 300%, and it's a master antioxidant. And what I came down with flu one day. The flu is going around. I'm hearing a lot of people are texting me, I have flu, I have flu, I have flu. Everybody now family has a flu. Well, I was on liposomal C and I put glutathione here. Within day, I had no flu. Todd had strep type of a pain in his throat. He put it one night, he woke up with no throat pain because it is a major anti-inflammation, master antioxidant, and it's also antiviral.
Yeah.
And that's your body
No,
producing.
go ahead. And it's your own. It's not synthetic, because synthetic, when people are taking it by mouth or even they're injected, clinics make a lot of money on this. You go for your glutathione IV, you have to pay $178 for an IV. And you are getting synthetic glutathione that there is no guarantee if your body is even processing it or not. They're just selling this to you, telling you it's such a great stuff, and it is. But now this patch is giving, that's your own body producing it. And the studies that I just showed you, where in your resources you can go check, prove that you increase glutathione in your body by 300%. This is why people take it maybe 2 times a week, because it's so strong. But let's say you have acne, or you have a teenager with major acne. Okay, try to use this for 4 weeks every day. And let's see what happens to your acne.
Well, I think they recommend that
Because
you
it's
don't
really-
eat it every day.
No, it said there in the studies that,
Okay.
for acne, they used it every day for several weeks, and acnes have resolved. So
Right.
anyway, I'm just saying to you, now as
I'm waiting for David to develop the patch that causes your body to produce vitamin C,
Yes.
because your body can make its own vitamin C. It's just something has cut us off, just like our stem cells.
we have enzyme in our liver. You know how goats, when they get sick with like flu viruses, bacteria, whatever, they will make their own vitamin C up till 300,000 milligrams I mean, it's unspeakable, right? Their body will just increase production of vitamin C on its own. Dogs do the same thing in lesser amounts. And that's why animals don't have to have vitamin C. Like we have to eat oranges, we have to take vitamin C. Well, we have the enzyme, but it's kind of deactivated. We don't know why. So
We need a patch
yes,
for vitamin C.
that's what I'm going to write email about to David Schmidt. Next thing we need is vitamin C making patch.
Let's go to quickly to so we can close up here. Anybody that has any questions, if you look on the bottom of your screen there, you got a little thing that says reaction. You click on that button there.
You
You can raise your
raise
hand
your
there, and we'd like to, while we have Todd and Shannon here, we'll try to answer any questions you may have before we close out. We have recorded this. It will be on our YouTube channel called Benoon X39.
And I want to tell you, just because we are doing very ethical things in here in this business, if you came in because you hear it from us, you follow our ministry, it's www.lifewave.com/Benoon. If you are a brand partner and you brought someone with you, okay, if somebody else, if John Moore told you about this, that's where you heard
Sign
it,
up
or
with John Moore.
Dr. Darnell heard, that's where you heard about Lifewave, or Ramona told you, or Kim told you. Please make sure that you sign up under those distributors, okay?
Hey, I just want to share real quick off the topic, but what we were talking about earlier on the X49, and I had never seen that video of David Schmidt discussing that, but anyone who's a workout person, we highly recommend it. I can't really explain it, but when I started using it, it was noticeable immediately.
Yes.
As far as enhancing your workouts, makes you stronger, more endurance. And I was literally looking around as I was working out, like, is anyone noticing what I'm feeling? It was the weirdest thing, but it's extremely noticeable. So highly recommended for workout people, for strength and recovery.
Well, and it really even just makes me think about, the people that we have in the nursing homes. And, when you think about those people, a lot of those people have just lost their strength. And, they even struggle to get themselves up off the commode.
Absolutely.
And thinking about how this patch, because it is proven to help with strength and grip strength, getting these patches on people, whether they're working out or not, is going to be life-changing for them. The combination of the X39 and the X49 together is absolutely a game changer.
Yeah, because we lose muscle every year,
right,
as we age. So it's a great
I'm going to work out now that I'm wearing it.
And women after age of 50, maybe even 40 now, like they exchange muscle for fat in a lot of their parts of body. And we want muscle, not fat, really. So although we do need more adipose tissue for proper hormone balancing, but I just, it is an amazing aid to lose weight, even with a little bit of exercise. So that's good.
We had Nikki had a question, and I don't know what happened.
And Jennifer does right now.
Yeah. All right. So Jennifer, go ahead. You just have to unmute yourself. Jennifer.
I think actually Nikki is unmuted if she wants to jump in.
Okay. Nikki, go ahead. Now, y'all might have just been waving bye to me then. Maybe that's what you guys were doing. All right. If anybody else has a question.
Nikki, she texted down there. It says, it said, do you think this could help someone with MS? Obviously we don't make medical claims. So we always just revert back to, to the power of the science behind the X39 and how it's helping people. So really look at thisisitinfo.com, look at the science, because certainly, again, it's not meant to heal any disease or anything like that, but it certainly has been effective with the symptoms. And so are we working with people that have MS? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to tell
we have
you
someone
that
in our team.
the word that you can use with people legally is healing opportunity. Okay, I've been taught that in my functional medicine school. We don't use word cure. It's a healing opportunity for your body. And so there are videos of MS patients who have been on patches and they have very good results.
And we do have someone in our own team that started using the product that
How do we sign up and where?
she shared with us that it helped her tremendously.
Okay, well,
Hey, David, real quick. David just asked where do they sign up? So David, you would, if you're if you've been introduced because of Steve and Yana, you'll go to their website. What's your website again, Steve and Yana?
It is lifewave.com/Benun, BENNUN.
okay, if it's easier, we have a phone number that you can text. That's my business line. That used to be my dad's phone. He passed away, so I'm using his phone as business line for Lifewave. You can text me and I will answer you the same day and even schedule a private phone call with you. I am kind of on a waiting list.
What's the number?
Just a second now. Hold on, because I'm not used to speaking that number that much. I
But
know.
yeah, David, if you just go to their
1-321
site.
321.
321-305-2991. And if you heard about Lifewave from any of our distributors, you need to go to your distributor. If it was Denise Darnell or Mr. Lee. And listen, I want to tell you a little bit encourage all of you here that we have in our team, Mr. Lee. He's not here today. He went to funeral of his aunt. But he's an older gentleman who did not even have a computer, okay? When he bought Lifewave patches, it started helping him. He got so excited. Of course, he came in as a silver, and he went out and bought a computer so he can learn how to work it because of Lifewave, and because he wants to share it with everybody. And so now where he lives, he has no Wi-Fi. So every time he goes on there, he has to go to area to find Wi-Fi. So he's going through all of these troubles because he's so excited about these patches that are helping him and his wife. And now he started talking to people and he reached out to medical professionals and he's having results. So imagine. Okay, so I'm very happy for him and we are here for him to help him as well.
Let's go to these questions. Jennifer, go ahead.
Steve, Jennifer's having trouble unmuting.
Okay,
Can you control it on your end?
If she can go to the text, then Jennifer, if you can write your question in the text, we'll pick it up from there. And while we're waiting on that, Denise, if you can, it doesn't allow me to unmute her myself, but Denise, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had a quick question about family signing up. I heard you say your son signed up, so I don't know if he used your address. My son lives with me now.
It's
So
okay.
can he we have the same address. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That was my question.
If it happens to flag it for whatever reason, because of the same address, they may just think that it's husband, wife separately. So it would just be a quick, call to customer service, say, hey, it's my son, he lives with me now. So
Okay.
yeah,
I actually wish my husband would have been around for this. He passed a year ago, but
so
God
sorry.
is in charge,
So sorry.
Okay.
I know
Thank
my mom and dad would have loved it. Shan's parents are still around and they're loving it.
My parents are 80 and 76 and they're sharing with people like crazy because it's changing their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're
Jennifer, can you
welcome.
talk yet?
Okay, I did get the question from Jennifer. She said, who is my upline to talk to? My mom signed up under Benoon, so are you my upline to talk to?
Yes.
Yes, you would sign up under your mom, Jennifer, but we are there to help you with anything and everything. So you can easily, as we just put in the text box there, the phone number where you can text Yana at the 321-305-2991. And we can help you. We can answer your questions, but you do want to sign up through your mom's website if you haven't signed up as of yet.
Well, it depends. If your mom is a preferred customer, that's a little bit different program. Unless she's a brand partner, then you sign up under her. Yes. So,
But now if she's not, if she's a preferred customer, and let's say your mom would like to have the benefit of you signing up, then help her to upgrade, and we could help you walk through that, and help your mom then to upgrade to become a brand partner, then sign up under your mom. We want you to we want your mother to benefit from you being a part of this as well, as why we say that, okay? So that would be more important for us, because even if she doesn't share it with a lot of people, it may make her enough income to pay for her own patch use. So
yes.
that's what we look at as well.
Right.
Steve?
Yes.
Okay, there's an Emily in the chat. She wants to know if Yana has WhatsApp for people who are in Europe to communicate
I
with.
do, yes. And you can take and all right, hang on one second. So we got to, okay. If they'll send me, if you send me your number in WhatsApp, because you're in Europe, then I can give you, because I haven't set it up on Yana's phone yet, but I'll take and I'll get you connected with my phone there, to do the European side of this. Yes.
Yes, we
that.
have, I'm from Europe, so I'm bringing it to my country of Slovakia. Nobody's doing Lifewave there yet.
Well,
And
even our ministry itself, we've
Right.
reached people, Japan, Australia, Netherlands, England, people have signed up from different parts of the world. That's one reason why we're doing this at 3:00 today.
Steve?
Steve, this is
Uh, uh,
Catherine, and I wanted to put in there that the talk about fibromyalgia, I don't know if people are aware that fibromyalgia is listed in Becker's Practices and Principles of Endocrinology under hypothyroidism. And once the thyroid is corrected, okay, typically those symptoms will subside. Now, replacing the thyroid correctly is quite difficult. And I eventually ended up on Armour Thyroid with T3. And T3 has an impact that T4 solo doesn't have. Escobar Morial, it's too complicated to get into here, but multiple sclerosis, Allison Pertel was a rheumatologist in Southern California. I'm not sure if she's still with us or not. This was 20 years ago when I did my deep dive on this, but multiple sclerosis, she never had a patient with rheumatoid arthritis or multiple sclerosis that were not concurrent hypothyroidism. And because they're not typically diagnosing and treating it correctly, okay, you makes you wonder if this isn't helping the thyroid again, okay? And then secondly, the other thing that drew back to thyroid was there's another comment that was made that, gosh, I'm drawing a blank on that now, but, oh, the amino acids. When I started, Tom from Utah, Steve, you probably are aware of him, when he recommended that I use amino acids in my food, so I'm using the Bragg spray, my thyroid hormone went from 90 a day to 30, okay? Even less than 30, I'm not kidding you. So your amino acid comment, I think, is spot on, the amino acid usage. So,
Right.
and again, Becker's Practices and Principles of Endocrinology, chapter 206, rheumatic manifestations of endocrine disorders. It's really a must read for everyone. If you have access to a medical school library, it should be core curriculum textbook. And I did speak with Dr. Becker and Dr. David Naschel, who wrote that chapter, and it has listed under hypothyroidism, everything, thyroid hormone regulates the rate of insulin absorption. It regulates uric acid excretion from the kidneys. So if this is helping thyroid, I think that, that can't be a bad thing. you know?
Yeah, and you know, I want to tell you, we have a sister, she is in North Carolina. She had fibromyalgia. She is in a group with 2,000 fibromyalgia patients. And I sent her patches, and after using X39 for 3 weeks, her fibromyalgia seems to be quite resolved. So, you know, something with X39 patch helping the whole hormonal balance.
What about SP6?
You know, but yeah, I'm using SP6 now. I feel totally great on it. I have to tell you, X39 helped my PTSD about 80%. That's what I used to say. With X49 now and SP6, it's 100% because my mood is better. I mean, it's just,
Fibromyalgia is devastating. It is
yes,
crippling.
I know.
And to find it listed in the, I went to the medical school library because my mother was a researcher and nurse epidemiologist, and I knew how to do my research. So I went to the stacks and I talked the doctor into letting me check out three endocrinology textbooks on his on his medical card, and he did. He allowed me to. Can you believe it? Anyway, but to find
Thank
that
you.
listed under
Yeah.
hypothyroidism, and I was getting the blow off from everyone, and then I went in the T3 rabbit hole. So all I know is that replacing thyroid correctly is important, and if you can do it without, you know, having to go through a doctor and the drugs, it's a lot easier to get that done probably. So anyway, I'm
And
glad to know these people are doing better.
yes, and doctors
Have
are
you-
not going to tell you that.
Have you
sister,
started
know?
using the X39 as well as of yet?
I guess.
Was that question directed to me?
Yes, yes. Have you started using the X39 as of yet?
No, I haven't used anything. This is my first time to really be introduced to it. I catch
But
John's
thank-
show.
I will, but
Thank you for telling us that.
yes.
Very interesting. Thank you.
And we have had
Allison
one
Pertell
person
is that
that's
dermatologist's name. If you wanted to try to look her up, Yana, Dr.
Yes.
Allison Pertell, Purtell. She's a rheumatologist.
Thank you
And
so much.
Yep,
So
you're
we
welcome.
did, I will say this, we did have, and I don't know who it is as of right now, but we do have someone that has this very same issue you're talking about that is using the X39 that said that
Rizzi.
it, is it Reese? Okay.
Yes.
And she said it has helped her, but the
Yeah.
activation of the stem cells have helped her in such a way, she said, that she has finally got a major reduction in
Yes.
pain from it. And she said she's just ecstatic about it and is really looking forward to even more results that her body
Well, with your
produce.
stem cells, we cannot promise any resolvement of any illnesses, and everybody has different testimonies, but you have to know one thing, that stem cells are intelligent cells, and they are going to what is your emergency for your body first. Even though you might not know something is wrong with your liver, and that's where it's going first before it gets to anything else.
Right.
So it will surprise you what results you're gonna get and how, you know, because sometimes you have to wait for results. And I understand this is why David Schmidt says, give it a month for every decade of your life. And some of your illnesses are 30 years old. I mean, some people are suffering for decades.
Yeah.
So give it a time and know for sure, because all the clinical studies have proved that your stem cells are being activated, and not just any stem cells, but useful stem cells.
Exactly.
And that's
exactly.
amazing.
Well,
I would
guys,
like David to do a case study with me as a longstanding type 1 diabetic to see if it has any benefit there. Yeah, so just putting that out there. And Yana, you have my number, so you can text me if you want to take on that further.
Yeah, I will listen. That's on my list. I want to meet David Schmidt in person. So
yes.
I don't know if I will, because it's hard to get
And
to
we
him,
do
but I will try
understand
to.
that
Yes.
issue too, so yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, we're
Thank
gonna
you.
close it out. Thank you, Todd, Shannon, and for being here with us. Elizabeth, thank you as well for helping us to coordinate or monitor the chat part of this.
Now we want to tell you tonight, for anybody of your people or you, I mean, probably